if it'll let me start recording. Okay. Just want to welcome everybody that is here this evening. And as I mentioned in the groups, we're going to change it up a little bit. And we're just going to go straight into a Q&A. So fire away. So we'll take them one at a time. Let's go. James Truss, what kind of questions might you have, sir?
Not any right now, Bob. So yeah, maybe in a few minutes. I don't have
Okay.
any
Okay. Yeah, just
questions.
remember this Q&A could be about anything. It doesn't matter whether it's about any of the projects that we're doing, including Mentor 10. It could be just a general question, marketing. It doesn't matter. I just want to give you all
Okay.
the chance from time to time to ask questions, right?
Okay. Thanks.
Mr. Bill. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Bill, what about you?
I really don't have much at the moment. I am looking for uh, options for an email program. Like I've used all the regular ones, but just looking for other suggestions. I use
Okay. Now, when you say
GetResponse.
email program, are you talking about a bulk mailer, or are you talking about?
Yes. Yeah, like I use
Okay.
GetResponse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, and Gary will be the one that could give you that one because, matter of fact, he's looking into some because we're getting ready to start testing a list that we just purchased
okay.
that we're cleaning right now. So
Yep.
we're also going to use. We also have Go High Level is a platform you might look at because it's got a CRM built into it.
Yep.
I should have thought about that right away. And because and you want to talk to Gary because Gary and Patrick are both master distributors for Go High Level because of the ranking store that they own.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And so for the average Joe on the street right now to get what you really want the use of with Go High Level, which includes the ability to do SMS texting here in the United States, and then a mailing platform which covers the world, and you could end up getting to be able to send out about 1,500 emails a day once you get the system warmed up, as they say.
Okay.
Normally, it's going to cost you about $149 a month, and that's bare bones. But we can get it for $49 a month. So,
okay.
So just
I'll talk to him.
Yeah, talk to him about that. That goes for anybody else here that's interested in going that route, because that brings up an interesting thing. So let's talk real quickly for a second about email marketing and list building. Okay. And this is all going to tie into you being a mentor, okay, and building your own list. So I'll just give you Facebook as my example. Facebook is my platform that I do most my stuff with. I haven't done really email marketing in a long time because there's some other things involved in email marketing that I'm redoing. Part of that I spoke about earlier. Gary and I have gone to a group of people that have decided to retire, and we were very fortunate to be able to purchase a very, very good list of folks that we're going to start testing, but we're running it through a cleaning operation right now, and if that plays out, then we're going to bring that to our group. But the fact is whether you're using social media or you're using an email marketing platform, Leads Leap is another email marketing platform that is not that expensive, and it's not really that hard to learn. I learned it in a pretty short period of time, and it's about $30 a month, and that's if you don't refer anybody. But it's got a refer 3 and it's free type platform with it. But list building is going to be tantamount. Okay. And so when I talk about the fact that you don't want to be branding Des Alps, and you don't want to be branding Save Club, and you don't need to be branding Veritas Vault, and you don't need to be branding the companies and the company owners, is the fact that you've got to brand yourself. Give me a one if you're with me on this so far. Give me one if you're with me. So, and the understanding of why. The understanding of why is more important than anything else. Okay, because the noise out there, you could be right in the middle of and what do I mean by noise? The noise is all of the people that are doing their marketing mostly in the same way. And mostly in the same way is basically taking an affiliate link and trying to post an affiliate link with a business, and they believe that by magic people are going to trip over themselves and join your business right away. Yes or no to that? Yes or no to that method? Can you all hear me? Yeah, Bill Saunders is not going to work. So yeah, that's got to be a no. That's got to be a no. Okay, so now we know what we don't want to be wasting our time, funds, and energy on. Okay, so we can all agree that that's not the way to go. So we have to determine which is the way to go. And so maybe we'll get some questions out of this little dissertation I'm going to share with you. List building means that the list is yours. Okay. There's an old rule of thumb that if you have an active list, okay, and an active list means that you're going to, so again, this may be over some people's heads. So if you've got the ability to market to your list and you can average 30 to 40% open rates, and you could average 15 to 25% click-through rates, this is an average, okay? And you have to warm up to that by understanding. And it's really no different. Email marketing differently is email marketing versus social media marketing. The similarity is you're doing the same basic principle. You are list building, and then you are trying to engage with your list. And those that engage with you are worth $1 per month on your list. Now, I'm going to qualify that. I will use Facebook alone. I've got 7,000 followers. It doesn't matter that I've got 5,000 friends. I'm maintaining 5,000 friends so that when I'm going to attract somebody, they're going to only have the option to become a follower. And followers are on Facebook is what you got to have that pushes the algorithm. Okay. And so we're not going to go in tonight to all of this, but the list building I wanted to get through because Bill Saunders brought it up. And you have to build your own list. And so the least expensive way is time that you put into doing this. Okay. So yes, time is worth money. We all understand that. But also building it organically. And that's what I do. So I have an average reach. Matter of fact, my reach rose 60 something percent over the last 28 days. Okay, so that reach moved up to 3,500. Okay, now if we use the rule of thumb, I should be making on a 30% open rate. Okay, so my open rate in Facebook is actually better than that. So I'm bumping anywhere from 35 to 55%. It just depends on my content that I'm posting, and then on the day of the week, month of the year, so on and so forth. Okay. But if we used an average, we'll take, and I'm going to take the low average. So 30%. So 30% of that 3,000 number is 900. We'll just call it 1,000. Now, that means that in anything that I'm doing, including Facebook paying me, I should be able to produce a minimum of $1,000 a month from my efforts. Well, I can assure you that I produce more than that. Okay. Now, there's some other mitigating circumstances that are around that. But if we're looking just from the Facebook side, I actually produce a little bit more than $1,000 a month just from Facebook. So the numbers are always going to tell you the tale of where you're at. It just comes down to how long you take to get from point A to point B. If that makes sense, give me a 2. If that makes sense, give me a 2. Good. So we're going to move to the next question. Lynn, do you have a question?
Yeah, yes, I do. I'm so excited because I was at an event today with a bunch of seniors, and one couple shared that they were going down to Florida for winter. Of course, my first question was, "Oh, do you feel comfortable doing that?" They said, "Yeah, we go for years, and all these people down there, they're great friends, and we don't talk politics, and we get along great." I said, "Fantastic." But then I mentioned to them that, I've got this new Save Club thing, and you're traveling down there, and you have to buy gas and hotel and meals, and when you get there, would you be interested in hearing how you can save some money on that? They said, "Yeah." And I said, they have all kinds of things, and things are so expensive down there, medical. And they said, "Yeah, we know this guy who works at McDonald's, and he's paying $1,200 a month for his medical." And I said,
Mhm.
"Well, gee, maybe you might want to have a look at this. You might be able to help people down there." So the company sent me something saying, yes, these people have jumped in. They've been positioned as a pre-enrollee. And they've had a look at some of the things I sent them. And then I think my next question is, where do I go from here?
That's great. That's a great question. And this is exactly how you build a business. Okay. Because what is Lynn doing? Somebody give me the answer. What is Lynn doing? Lynn was not selling Save Club. She was providing a potential what? Come on,
Solution.
somebody. What is that, James?
Solution
A solution to what, James?
to save money on traveling.
Exactly. To say because the problematic as it is, my wife and daughter will tell you that they have used Save Club multiple times, not just here in Oklahoma, but on their travels. Now, listen to this. Remember this, Lynn. What you do is you tell them, here's your next step. Get them to get the free app. It's in the App Store. And it's also, if they're already a pre-enrollee, it's in their back office to download that app on their phones. That makes sense, Lynn?
Yes.
That's what they want to do first. Okay.
Okay.
Now, we also have a promotion going with that if you get them to take the free app and they download it, after they save where they've spent $25 anywhere in the system through the app, saving, then the system is automatically going to do 2 things. It's going to give you $5 and it's going to give them $5. That's a pretty good deal, right?
Right.
Okay. That's on top of what their savings. Now, here is something that you need to make sure that you give them before they go. What they need to know is go in their back office and get themselves registered in their back office. We're going to do this in 2 steps. We're going to register in the back office on My Deals. Okay. You with me, Lynn?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Right. And if you haven't done that and you're in Save Club, that's the first thing you got to do. Why? Because you got to remember, Save Club's platform operates with 2 things. It operates with AI, which AI is following you, and you'll start seeing this if you're in Save Club and you log in after you've registered and you put your zip code in. Okay, this is the start. Now, you don't have to just use your zip code because you can show people. So when you're talking to somebody that's outside of your zip code, that's the very first thing that you're going to show them is what's going on in their zip code. Now
In
you take
Florida.
this, right, Lynn?
Yeah. In Florida. Yes.
It doesn't matter. But in Florida, yes. Okay. But they're going on their way unless they're flying straight to Florida. Okay.
Oh.
But if they have a stopover somewhere, which I did, I actually had one stop one time in Atlanta. So Atlanta's a super busy, and I used Save Club at a restaurant inside that airport. Okay. And so what you do is when you get to where you're going, Okay, so driving and flying, obviously a different thing, but same principle. So if you're driving, as my wife and daughter were doing, every state that they were in, so they went from Oklahoma, they went through Arkansas. When they stopped in Arkansas, they put the zip code they were in. Boom. It starts pulling up things around them where they could go and get a sandwich, buy one, get one, thing that get cash backs. And this is another part, because on your phone, you have another situation. On top of being able to have it on your phone, you also, because it's an app, a real app that you download to your phone, it updates every so often. And when it updates, it's adding more restaurants, it's adding more hotels, it's adding more gas stations, and on and on and on to your app. And again, once you're in there, and so here's what we call the double dip. So you're at Atlanta County Fulton Airport, or you're in North Carolina where I was coming back this time. The first thing I did was I got on my phone and I looked at my deals, and I saw that there was a deal for this particular, it was a chain restaurant, and they had a 20% off. First thing I'm doing is I'm showing the waitress my coupon, 20% off. She just took the code off of there and applied the 20% right away before my bill even started. Then on the app, also because of card linking technology, this is the AI part of what we're talking about. So you got AI and you got GPS. The GPS, when you put that zip code in there, it knows exactly where you are, and it tells you exactly what you get access to. And then the AI technology starts following your what you're doing on a regular basis. And all of a sudden you're going to start seeing in line items that, oh man, it must seem that I was looking at this travel, or I was looking into these hotels and so on and so forth, because I noticed that right away. But I got 20% off, and then I got 3.5% cash back using my credit card because I had it uploaded. So now that you know these things, these are things that you'll share, right, Lynn?
Yes, yes. It's exciting to see the process, because I guess just because we're in Canada, we're just a little bit behind here.
Yeah.
And but I was excited to do this belly to belly, and I just
Right.
wanted to follow
And I
through.
think you've got a testimony. Don't you have a testimony that you could share about the fact that you saved some money on your energy?
I did. It was on my cable.
And how did that work?
Um, Saved me $377. I know.
Yeah, you see, you got, and people go, well, it's just a little old savings club. Oh,
Yeah.
it's not just a little old savings club. Let me tell
Yeah.
you something. And when
And
you
what,
heard Lynn talking about medical, we just added a health portal, because the number one problem in the United States for entrepreneurs, small business owners with less than 50 employees, this is where this is going, is the fact that they either have no access to any kind of health. And now we're not talking about insurance. So let's make sure we're clear on this. This is not insurance. This is health, where you get help just like you would normally not get this. So here's the example. So if you know somebody that has a small business, 50 employees or less, and there's a whole lot of mom and pops that can't afford $1,000 a month, okay, and or 1,500 a month. Some family plans are 1,800 a month right now, especially in the United States. It's just out of control, but it is what it is. But they could afford $50 a month for what? Well, to start out with, to have access online by their phone or their laptop or their PC to a licensed MD or a DO in their hometown. $50 a month. And that's it. So what does that mean? That means that you get on the phone, you get on, and we're just like we're talking, and you share what's going on with you, and you get a diagnosis for that. Now, that may mean that they just need to set you up for a prescription. And we have in that back office of that health portal, there's over 1,000 scripts right now that are free, 1,000 different scripts. And then there's scripts that have different tiers and levels of discounts on top of that. And that's just, and I don't have the time to go into all the details
No.
of that, but see, now you've got a lot more information, right, Lynn?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. And this is why when you and the what I really love about what Lynn did is she went belly to belly with people.
Yeah.
Belly to belly. I cannot tell you all how important that no matter what you're doing, I don't care if it's lotions, potions, or pills. I don't care if it's the next big best AI technology. I don't care what it is. There's a way and a process, and the way and the process involves belly to belly, because I can qualify that. 14 months ago, Gary and I, we started with our 2 people with Des Alps, and we put out some feelers to some leadership that we've known. And yes, we knew a number of leaders. Okay, not everybody came with us. No, they did not. But the ones that did got the opportunity to start with us. Okay, this was all belly to belly. This was all just getting on the phone, getting on here like we do here with an individual, with a group of individuals, and seeing if we could help solve some problems for them. And in the case of Des Alps, the biggest problem with people not making money is the fact that they have to keep paying a business owner every month, every month, every month out of their pocket. You got to remember what, if you want to have a hook, the Des Alps hook was with only 2 people, you could be what? You could be in profit, and you are in profit with only 2. And that starts a journey that we turned in from 100 in our first week, because we built it this way, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Okay. That turned into 20,000 paid members under my family over the next 4 months. And now it's turned into 125,000 of the 140,000 by doing it that way.
Wow.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was the test, because we took that business model and we applied it to Save Club, which we're talking about now. And in Save Club, in order to maximize the compensation plan and to be what? In profit, it takes 4, not 2. So when we looked at this, we said, okay, it's going to take 4, not 2. Well, we had to do what? We had to provide a solution, okay, to the same problem. In order to do this, we provided the solution where you only were going to come out of pocket one time, just like with Des Alps. And then every time you brought one person, it doesn't matter if it took you 1 month or it took you 4 months, okay? And it was month by month. You still had the money coming in from that one person to the second person to the third person to the fourth person, because it was 20, 20, 20, and 20. That returned all of your investment, which was $80 to get started. And then at the same time, you didn't take that money and send it right to your bank account. No, you're in a business. You have expenses. You don't want to come out of pocket anymore. And this was the other solution to the problem. They never came out of pocket again, and so on. So does that make sense for you, Lynn?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Amy Carpenter, you out there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. Amy's been coming up with some pretty good stuff on her posts. Amy, you've been doing some homework.
Yes, I have a boss.
Yeah, you got a boss. I love it. So, Amy, do you have a question?
Do I have a question?
Yeah, you got anything? Anything. I don't care what.
Um, Um, how should we pick a domain name for the Alps?
Great question.
Geared to the shopping
Great
mall
question.
or
Yeah. Well, see, I think you're going to need two, because you're going to need
two?
one for the business side, and you're going to need one for
Okay.
the fact that you're going to have a mall, right?
Yeah.
A shopping mall. Because the way that this is going to work now, that they're redoing, is everybody that comes in now, just so you know, comes in as a client first. Okay. And they're
Okay.
working on the back end of this right now. And so the person that comes in as a client does not just arbitrarily get what? They don't get a link. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, our folks with the Zouts is actually not, hang on a second. Matter of fact, Gianni is hollering at me for just a second, guys and gals.
Okay.
Just a second. Okay, he's telling me right now that we've been talking about member to member. So if if you want to send money, it's going to be a seamless operation. It's manual right now. So as long as you know the person's ID number, which is the digits on the end of your
Uh-huh.
affiliate link, you could actually send money from your commission side of your wallet to their commission side of their wallet. Now, the only caveat to that is unless you know that they have a virtual debit card yet, because not everybody has a virtual debit card yet. Okay, those
Yeah.
are still coming. Okay, so you could get it to them in their wallet, but don't do that unless you know for a fact that they at least have a virtual debit card. A couple of things that are coming up that has not been let out yet. I will tell you that I'm going to be involved in testing ACH, direct deposit, before it goes live, and I'm also going to be getting one of the physical debit cards that I'm going to be testing, that they're getting here sometime before the end of this weekend. And so we got a lot of moving parts going on in the back end of there. But to your question,
Yeah.
domains, okay? A domain needs to fit what you're trying to do. So I'll give you an example. So Project Mentor 10 for me, I picked work with six-figure-earners.com. Why? Because that's
Okay.
what you get to do, right? Does that make sense, Amy?
Yeah.
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 So that's what you want to do. So what you want to do is throw some things around, okay? Then I'm going to recommend to you. I'll put it
Okay.
in here. You can go to whoever you want to do. GoDaddy is probably one of the biggest names, but I don't use GoDaddy. I use namecheap.com. And there's no affiliate deal there. You just go and they seem to normally have the least expensive domains out there. And you go and you pull that up, and you don't even have to join it. You can use their part where you just throw a name in there and see if that's available.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill,
Yeah,
there
if
you
it
go.
comes
That's
up
a
or
great
not.
idea. Use Chat GPT. You can use Gemini. You can also use Copilot, which I started using a lot for those kind of things as well. And what you can do is you can go take some of the text out of the website. And is that what you did, Bill? You got your ears on?
Yeah, I basically had it, I asked it to analyze the website
Yeah,
and then give me some ideas.
right. There you go. That's perfect. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Great. That's a great help right there. Now why are we talking about buying a domain? Well, this goes back to the fact that you are a professional, you have a business, and you're going to stop using affiliate links to try to promote what you're doing. You got to stop. And until you do,
Yes.
you're going to see the reasons why, because people do not gravitate to anybody using affiliate links because it makes you look unprofessional. Give me a
Yeah.
5 if that makes sense. If you don't think that makes sense, say so. And let's talk about that between all of us here. Because look, and we're not talking about thousands of dollars. Now, there could be domains that you want to have, but somebody's already got it, and it pops up that you could start bidding at $199. Do not do that. Do not do that. If you see stuff like that before you buy any domain for more than $15 for a year, you come to me, come to Gary, and let us work with you and help you. Okay? That makes sense, Amy?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you want to do. Okay. We're tempted to, and I already see the minute they open the door and put our affiliate link in there, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it everywhere. This is the noise. This is the noise. You have to separate yourself from the noise.
Yep.
That makes sense, Amy?
Yep.
Right. And the way you separate yourself from the noise is you become the professional that people seek out. And they don't seek you out because you're in Des Alps or you're in Save Club or you're in Project Veritas Vault. They might seek you out because you're part of Project Mentor 10. Okay. Why? Because that is a training program. Project Mentor 10, for those of you that are not involved, is a training program that allows you the capability of utilizing Gary and I, first and foremost, and our experience as six-figure income earners, because we are, and we prove that to people. Okay. So what you're doing is you're not faking it till you make it. If you think you're faking it till you make it, you got to get that out of your head. Okay. To utilize the resources of people that have already been there is not faking it. It is smart business. Give me a 1 if you can agree to that. If you don't agree to that, let's say so, and let's talk about it for a second. We only got a few more minutes. I'm going to go through one more time with questions. Okay. But the thing is, and you're going to hear me stress this and stress this, regardless. You have got to become the professional that people seek out to get solutions to their problems. Now, let me share something with you. Do not corner yourself into just thinking that you can provide and only provide solutions to network marketers or MLMers or affiliate people or direct sellers. Okay, that is a niche that we operate in. If you open and expand your thinking about this, look to like what Lynn, some of what Lynn does is life skill stuff. Would you agree, Lynn?
Absolutely.
Yeah, life skills. I mean, come on. Who is sharing life skills stuff? We're talking about Lynn at the age of having the experiences that now she can share with others in her age group and younger, right? Does that make sense, Lynn?
Yeah.
To do what? To help somebody avoid the pitfalls that you've already been through. James, does that make sense, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to unmute right quick.
That's okay. Does that make sense, though, what we're saying here?
Yeah.
And I
It does.
know that you do that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, everybody that does, again, over a period of time, this does not happen overnight. It's not going to happen in 30 days. And I'm talking about people that are just getting started. Okay. But it's not going to take you years. It's not going to take you 18. It took me 18 years, 11 months, 6 days, and I don't know, 12 hours. I use that all the time. If you think and do the math, you'll understand where I'm coming from with that. That's what it took me to get to where I am today. I want to teach people how to avoid that trap. And that trap is part of the 40-year plan that you are all programmed into. Does anybody got any other questions? Because I want to leave you with something that's very important that's being recorded right now about the 40-year plan. Anybody else got a question? before we go. Okay. The 40-year plan. It dawned on me not too long ago when I was talking to some younger folks. When I say younger folks, I'm talking about people in their 20s, 30s, 40s that come to me now and see the fact that my wife and I are debt free and that she got to retire about 5 years before I did. Then I got to retire. I actually retired 3 years before I should have, according to the system. Okay. Everything I'm talking to you now is based on the system. And what does that mean? That means that each and every one of you here, no, I don't care where you live, if you went to the public school system, you were programmed for the 40-year plan. Because in my generation before me, those people got out of school, even if they went to college, they went to work into the workforce and they worked for one company for their adult life. Okay, that's not true anymore. But the principles behind it, behind the programming side of this is, okay? So listen very carefully. And this is what you get to help with life skills, because nobody is teaching any of the stuff that I teach you all in life skills, like balancing your checkbook. Why do they not teach that in school? Why do they not teach you to understand what you're going to have to do if you want to go into business for yourself? Because they don't want you going into business for yourself. They don't want you to learn how to balance the checkbook. They want you to outspend
Right.
what your income is, right, James?
That's right.
And
Yeah.
when you do that, that forces you to borrow and get into credit card debt. And credit card debt averages right now in the United States 27% per month. 27% per month. And people are, oh, hallelujah, I got 14 cards.
You said it in the beginning, Bob. It's the system.
It's the system, the programming. Now,
It's
watch this real carefully.
the
How
system.
many of you, James, since I'm talking to you about this, you remember when you went to elementary school, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you go to high school?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stop right there, because this was the base. This was the infrastructure. And I didn't get this until not too long ago. But I got to thinking about this. I was talking to some people about it, and everybody kept coming up with the same background. We all went to school 8 hours a day. That sound
Yep.
familiar, James?
Sound like the job. 8 hours.
Hang on, right. Here's where we're going with this. We all went to school 8 hours a day. We all ate lunch about the same time. They were staggered a little bit, were they not, James?
Yeah. Yeah. From different
We had
age groups.
recess, right?
Yeah.
We had recess, right?
Right.
Okay, that means you had your 10 or 15-minute breaks at your job. And we all went to school 5 days a week. Now, what else happens in your life that has all this dynamic around it? Your
Job.
JOB, which is just over broke, which is where they want you to stay. They don't want you to learn how to run your own business. They've got plenty of those people in the 1%ers. This is why they're all doing what they're doing now to society in the United States, in Canada, and around the world, especially in the UK right now. Okay? The fact that you're here means that you have stepped outside of the programming. Okay? Now, only you can decide how far you're going to take that. And what I decided about 5 years ago was that I was going to start doing teaching. And so that's where the bulk of my income comes now, from teaching. Okay. And we don't charge very much for what we do. Okay. But eventually it comes back to us, because in order for them, and you've heard me use this term, get the whole enchilada. This is the process. You get them into these trainings. They take the gold nuggets, they go and they apply it. The ones that are serious will come back because they do, and they'll say, darn, guys, that actually worked. Lynn, I think you're probably one of those people that happened to, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, but here's the difference between you and the ones that didn't come back. You are here, so you're serious about wanting to do something better than what the programming had for you. Okay, so it was, nobody gave any consideration to the fact, because you had to have a job. Why did you have to have a job? Because you had to pay for the roof over your head. You had to pay to keep the electric on, the gas going, the water flowing, and you got to put food on the table, right, Lynn?
Absolutely.
So that was something that we all were taught. But what we didn't realize was that's all programming that was instilled into us from the time that we hit first grade. Because you got to remember what was kindergarten. In the United States, kindergarten starts out as half a day. We're going to get you used to the full day, but we're going to start you with 4 hours. Nobody thought about this back then. Hey, well, you got to go to school because they say so. Well, there wasn't homeschooling back then that there is now. Okay. And the reason why homeschooling is up 60-something% in the United States is because the public schools have completely failed. As a matter of fact, the public school system here in Oklahoma, how many states are there in the United States? Anybody? How many states do we have?
50, right?
50.
Yeah.
So what would it be like if I told you that the state of Oklahoma right now ranks 50th in education?
Oh.
That is the worst side. I'm not number 1, I'm number 50.
Alabama might be up there with you too, Bob.
Yeah, well, it's you can Google it and find out. But the point being is that they wanted to have millions and millions and millions of worker bees. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? With the introduction of AI and where it's going, now they don't even want worker bees anymore. They want to get rid of you completely.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think that that's bullshit, I'm going to tell you something very, very critical that you need to be looking at is the way things are going in this world that we live in. And the people behind all of this nonsense, I call it nonsense because when you're talking about getting rid of people because they eat too much or they use the bathroom too much and on and on and on, it's because you've decided that you're going to be in control. And it all started with this programming. So now we're going to bring AI in here. And so we're going to eliminate tons and tons of jobs. Good news and bad news. Bad news is for the people that are going to lose their jobs and the ones that don't see it coming and don't evolve, reinvent themselves. And so this is where we're at, guys and gals.
So, and if I may, this just me, Bob. Just me thinking. Just want to add something.
Go ahead.
Think people are going to be pushed to entrepreneur. They ain't going to have no choice to. When they start losing these jobs and stuff like that.
And they're already losing them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you don't think people are losing jobs, just talk to your neighbors. Not the ones that are already retired. The system can't do anything about them, except here's the thing about retirees. If retirees are only depending upon the system, which unfortunately, that's their money. So Social Security was taken away from us and also put in by the employer for however many years that you worked, okay, that job, all right, and that's a fraction, 25% of what you're making. And so if you still, right, James?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so if you retired and you were living on 5,000, just know that it's not going to be any more than 2,500 because my wife and I, Social Security that we get, and God bless us that we learned over the last 10 years what to get ready for, and so we can literally live on $3,000 a month.
Good.
Why? Because we set ourselves up that the worst case scenario is if Bob doesn't build the Alps, and Bob doesn't build Save Club, and Bob doesn't do this, and Bob doesn't do that, which is the skill sets that Bob has for his family and my children's future, then the only thing Bob has the ability to do is Bob would either have to go back to work, which I could, because now it doesn't matter how much money I make. Not so for my wife, but she's on disability, so that doesn't apply to her. But think about this right now. We lived on $6,000 a month. One of my leaders down the street from me, him and his wife work because they have to. They're raising kids that are still in the public school system, and they get by on $7,000 a month, and that's still nothing. That's still nothing.
Yeah.
So, folks, I'm gonna suggest to you that the reason I'm telling you to get and separate yourself from the noise is very simple, because that's where the noise is, where the majority of people that are not either capable or not going to put the work in to do what's necessary to separate themselves so that they can be the one that people come to. And folks, if you think that there's saturation, forget about that. Amway still, for 70 years now, my parents were in Amway, they still have 1 million active members, but the top 3% are the ones that are making the money. Okay, I can go on and on and on. All right, but at the end of the day, you're either going to do one of three things. You're either going to get run over by the system, and hopefully that you can survive. Raise your hand if that's all you want to do. I better not see nobody's hands raising up that that's all they want to do is just survive. I know better than that. We're not here to just survive. We're here to thrive,
Right.
and we're here to help others learn how to. Right, James?
That's right.
Okay, but you only get the choices. So you can get run over by the system and hope that you survive before you pass away, or you can start doing something for yourself to separate yourself from all the noise and the system. And even if it's only an extra $500 or $1,000 a month consistently, don't you think that could help a lot of people's lives right now?
Oh, that'll be a game changer for a lot of people. That'll stop foreclosure or get some people out of debt. Oh, of course.
Right. And so one of the things I teach is to how to get out of debt without inheriting a fortune or robbing a bank or winning the lottery. Now that sounds funny, but it is what it is. And so that's what we had to do. So we have no real debt. Okay, that started the
That's
process
good.
that we're in. So the worst case scenario is that I have no capability but to deal with what my retirement income is, as long as that continues to come. And there's no guarantee. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no guarantee. That's a matter of fact. Every time you turn around in the United States, they're telling us that Social Security is going to run out of money, and not this time it's going to be 2035. Right? That's every time you turn around. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's scary.
so you're either going to depend on Social Security or whatever that looks like in the country that you live in, or you do something for yourself, and then you make sure that you don't do just one thing. Okay. But remember what we teach. You got to get one thing in profit consistently before you start the next thing. Does that make sense, Lynn?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you're trying to do 2 or 3 or 4 things because you want to see what's going to stick, you're going to waste a lot of time, and you're darn sure going to waste a whole lot of money that you're never going to get back. So don't fall into that pitfall. Anybody got any last questions? This turned into an hour anyway. Sorry, guys.
Good information, man. Good sharing. Thank you
Hope
so
you got
much.
some value out of it.
Yeah, I did. Thanks so much.
So
Thank you.
if there's any of y'all out there that want to learn how to get debt free that are not debt free, I'm going to tell you where it starts, with 2 places. It starts with managing your expenses and how you go about managing them, and making a few little changes that don't look like much, but they turn into something that you will really be interested to know, and then getting your credit card debt out of the way. And there is a way to do that systematically. Once you've done those two little things, you're on your way. But until you do those two little things and then manage this, you're going to be just like 97% of the rest of the people out there. Because here's the rule about credit cards. The average family of 4 has 7 to 10. Well, let's just say they only have 4. It doesn't matter. The average family of 4 with 4 credit cards, they're maxed out or they're running at 90% or higher. That tells you that the system is telling them that their credit is shit. I'm sorry about my French, but their credit is crap. With bad credit, you can't hardly do anything. And the one things you can is get into more credit debt, which you do not want. You want to use credit for what credit is supposed to be used for, using other people's money. Do you realize that the millionaires, the multimillionaires, and the billionaires all use other people's money to live on? They don't use their money. So they purchase assets and not liabilities.
Right.
And then they don't have any real debt. Okay. We're not talking about paper stuff. We're talking about real debt. You know, we don't have a mortgage payment. We don't have credit card payments that we don't want to have because we pay our credit cards that we do have off every freaking month. Okay. We don't have car payments. We don't have a boat payment. We don't have a cabin payment. We don't have land payments. I could go on and on and on. But this is where you've got to get. Okay. So if your first order of business is to, let's say, when we talked about $500 or $1,000, so $500 a month now could maybe make a car payment or a truck payment, right, James?
Right.
And that's where you start. This is where you start. So if you can help somebody eliminate that payment, okay, where they can start having some disposable income to start doing something, and then you graduate that up. The next scale is now we're going to get rid of your house payment. Okay, we're gonna have an income stream that covers your car payment first, and then we're going to go after that house payment. Okay, because we got to get that house payment down. Everybody that's sitting on 6 to 8% mortgages right now are getting destroyed in this country, and they can't do nothing about it. They can't do nothing about it. Nobody's going to refinance them because their credit is crap, so on and so forth. Okay, but there are ways to get around it. Okay, I can take a person's 30-year mortgage and turn it into a 15. I can take a person's 15-year mortgage and turn it into 5 to 7 and still use the same amount of money. I can take their credit card debt and I can take all their money that they've got allocated right now out of their budget, and we're going to pay off one credit card at a time, making minimum payments on the other ones, and then we're going to cut that one up and go straight down the list until we're done. These are the kind of things that you will never learn in school, that your boss ain't going to teach you, that nobody's going to teach you because they don't want you to know.
Exactly.
Did you get some value tonight?
Yes.
Yes, that's good. Thank you so much.
No problem. That's why we're here. We're not here just to teach you how to take a link and market it properly. That is marketing. Okay, running a business has components, and one of the components is marketing, but that's a small component. Okay, you have to learn how to run a business, and I tell this to people all the time. If you have a home or you have an apartment, you run a business. You just may not understand that you do, because you have expenses. So you have an income that comes in and it goes against those expenses. And here's another little gold nugget. Rearrange your expenses so your expenses come after your income comes into your bank. Most people don't do this. Most people don't even think about this. They don't get paid till the 12th or the 15th, or they get paid once a month, but their bills are coming in before the money comes in. Well, how does that work for them? It does not. But you have to know that you can fix that. You can move all your expenses behind your paychecks coming in. And that's another start. And who teaches that? James, anybody teach you that?
No.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
Yeah,
They're not going to teach you that because they don't want you. They want you to borrow $500 every month. Or I say borrow because literally you would have to save probably somewhere between $500 and $1,000 for the start of the new month, because your bills are coming before you get paid. Otherwise, you're having to do what? You have to get another credit card. This is what they want you to do. They don't want you to be like my wife and I. They don't want you to do that. They want, because then they control your whole life. So that's, I'll leave you all with that. Those are some gold nuggets. Think about that. If you want any deeper dive on stuff like that, I'm available. All you got to do is holler at me. All right. We're going to wrap it up.
Thanks.
Anybody got any last things that they want to ask or say?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, for that. And I give this every time I leave a call. I have to challenge each and every one of you. Some of you already have team members that need to be in here. It doesn't matter if they're not part of Project Mentor 10. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if they're a part of any of your projects that you're doing. But it does matter if they are part of the projects, because they're going to follow what you do. If you don't go into training, they're not going to go into training. And it is an obligation that each and every one of us have, is to always keep moving people to try to get them into training so they can learn to set themselves apart. So the challenge is always going to be bring one new person. Just bring one new person. And then we go from 4 or 5 people to 10 people. We at one time, about 14 months ago, we had 200-300. We had nights of 400. We had one night where we hit 515 people. And that was people doing that little bit, just bringing somebody in to help them get going. Because there's people out there that need to learn. They just don't know how to find the right people. And we may not be exactly the right people, but we offer our help without charging somebody their bank account to do it. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.